Good evening. Could I please get a motion to adjourn from executive session?
I move to adjourn from executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. I would like to welcome you to the Valentine's Day board meeting, February 14th, 2024. Ms. King, could we please get our roll call?
Jason Olive,
Here.
Barb Moskin,
Here.
Joel Ward,
Here.
Kurt Roars,
Here.
Joaquin Serrano.
Here.
Thank you. Would you all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Excuse me. We have a couple of bits of routine business to take care of. We have the minutes of the January 17th, 2024 regular board meeting to approve. Could I please get a motion?
Madam President, I move to approve the minutes of the January 17th, 2024 regular board meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We also have to approve and ratify our payroll and accounts payable vouchers. Could I please get a motion?
President Mawson, I move to approve and ratify payroll and accounts payable vouchers.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Opposed? None. Motion carries. Mr. Narducci, is there any correspondence for us?
Madam President, there is no correspondence at this time.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to our student body president report. And tonight we have two presentations. One is from Lily Pulsifer from ACP High School. What's going on at ACP?
Good evening, Mr. Narducci, board members, and all of CUSD. Thank you so much for having me this evening. My name is Lily Pulsifer, and I'm the student body president at Arizona College Prep High School. It is truly an honor to be here with you all tonight representing my school. I haven't spoke with you all since September, so get ready because I have a lot of incredible things to catch you guys up on tonight. After an amazing first semester, I want to say a big thank you to our administrators. Without them, the culture that we have at ACP would be non-existent. They truly play such a big role in why ACP is the way it is. I remember sitting down with my fellow Stugo seniors and Principal Mr. Bickus at the beginning of the year and discussing what we wanted our culture to look like on campus this year. The words hype, exciting, and unified made their way to the conversation. I feel that this past semester we really did this through our Hollywood-themed homecoming named Knights Camera Action. Stugo put on multiple events during HOCO Week, which included a Spirit Week, lunchtime events, homecoming carnival, and assembly. It's events like these that really get our student body excited and make the ACP community something so special to be a part of. Our first semester sports team truly had an amazing season. During homecoming week, our annual Dig Pink volleyball game took place, which helped in raising money for stage 4 breast cancer research. We took home the win, and as you can see in the slides, the student section was packed and the energy was incredible. I have to say this is by far my favorite sport event to attend every year, and the student section really showed out. ACP Mountain Bike Club also had an incredible season as 3 of our riders placed in the top 3 in series points. And as you know, our boys and girls swim and dive teams were crowned state champions. So far this winter season, ACP varsity boys and girls soccer teams were awarded region champs after finishing their regular season. These athletes, along with members of our boys basketball team, are ready for the state championship tournament coming up, and we're hoping to see them bring back that trophy. Alongside our soccer team, 5 of our incredible Lady Knights from cheer took the AIA All-Girls Stunt State Runners-Up title last month. These girls put together an awesome routine and totally crushed it at their competition. Our sports spirit line also qualified to attend nationals in Anaheim, California later this week, so we wish them luck as they head out. ACP took on yet another win as our chess team came back as region champions with an undefeated record of 14-0. They then participated in the AIA State Team Chess Championship and came home with the runner-up trophy. The dedication and talent from all these athletes is undeniable. As we wrapped up this last semester, student government worked with administration to help host our first ever Hope Week on campus. During this week, we had a Hopes and Dreams Spirit Day, where students could dress in PJs, as well as Support Day, where everyone on campus could dress in ACP gear to show off their night pride. Throughout this week, we had different activities during lunch, from a scavenger hunt and karaoke to yoga and a movie in the courtyard. Hope Week was definitely a success, and we look forward to carrying out this tradition in years to come. To end out second quarter, we hosted our second annual movie night in the courtyard. We showed the movie Elf and had food trucks and concessions. Everyone came in their comfiest outfits and their lawn chairs and blankets. It truly was such a fun night with the ACP community. Next, our outstanding theater program received a superior rating at this year's Eastern Arizona Festival of Theater. This special rating now gives 8 individuals the opportunity to compete this summer at nationals in Indiana. This past semester, our theater program also put on 2 incredible shows, Evita and Chicago. These spectacular productions were one you'd be sad to have missed. Some of our most recent events that we put on were Rodeo Night and Steam Night. Rodeo Night took place on February 4th to follow the festivities from the previous week. We held a Spirit Week and an assembly to get the student body excited for the fun dance on Saturday. And as you can see in the photos, we had lots of fun. Then our annual STEAM night took place last Friday, and it was a huge success. At this event, the community was able to see our school's accomplishments in STEAM, as well as participate in some STEAM demonstrations and activities. Finally, I would just love to take some time to recognize a couple other extraordinary achievements of our students and organizations on campus. ACP's FCC LA culinary students had the opportunity to participate in CCAP's Harvest Moon benefit in late October. These students left with some incredible new knowledge, so a huge shout out to our culinary department and teachers for creating an amazing program. A few of my fellow seniors, Camila Baker, Arav Dugar, and Anaya Vinkat, were the only CUSD students to be selected as one of the top 10 finalists in Arizona for the United States Senate's youth program. So huge congratulations to Camila for being selected to represent Arizona as a delegate on her trip to the Capitol. Another student in the class of 2024, Liam McMaster, who is part of the JROTC program, was awarded a full ride scholarship to his choice of university with an ROTC program. So awesome job to Liam. I know he's going to do amazing things. In addition, we just learned we have 22 National Merit finalists, and 2 of our seniors are Flynn finalists, and we'll learn later this semester if they become a Flynn Scholar. I'm so proud to be associated with ACP and very grateful to be surrounded by such an amazing community every day at school. Thank you to the board for having me tonight. It's truly an honor to be here. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. Next, we have Ava Gilbert from Basha High School.
Good evening, Mr. Narducci and all the board members. My name is Ava Gilbert, and I am the student body president at Basha High School. Today, I'm here to present to you the events at Basha High School from the second and third quarter. First up, we had our Rumble on Rigs. This year, for our football game against Castile, we decided to hold an event called Rumble on Rigs. It was a week-long event where we battled with Castile on a toiletry drive to see who could get the most donations. Overall, we got a ton of donations and even ended up winning the football game that Friday night, which made it an even better win. Next up, we had our annual trunk or treat. The Friday before Halloween this year, well, we held our annual trunk or treat, so sorry, I actually just said that. Our trunk or treat this year was open to the community, which also happened to land the same night as a football game, so we decided to mix the two together, and we actually turned it into a tailgate. We had tons of clubs show up with very decorated cars and games to keep the kids entertained as they walk through. Next up, we're going to go ahead and go over our fall sports. Our fall sports season ended in the middle of December. Our football team ended with a season of a 10-2 score. Girls flag football ended up with a 3-9. Girls volleyball with a 13-22. And swim, boys and girls golf also ended off with an amazing season. Next up, we had our winter sports assembly on December 1st of this year. The theme for this year was the Polar Express, so we had our posters decorated to the T with Polar Express expressions. We played tug-of-war, build a snowman, and we even held a school-wide game of rock, paper, scissors to get people hyped up for the assembly. Overall, we heard amazing things about the assembly, and it was such a fun time to MC. Unfortunately, I was busy MCing, so there were no pictures for this one. Next up, we have our unified soccer games. This year, we made it a point as a student government to raise attendance as well as funds for our unified team. We had Stugo at each game we had at home, and we were able to support both teams that played. We hosted halftime games to interact with the kids with things such as Finish the Song, Disney trivia, and even themes to the games to get people into spirit. Being able to show up for our unified team has been such an amazing experience. Next up, we had our annual holiday happiness. This drive is to help with families in our district who are less fortunate during the holiday time. This year we had 85 kids, and I am happy to say that each kid got more than one gift for this holiday time. Everyone was welcome to pick a card, grab an age, and buy whatever they wanted to based off that child's preference. As you can tell, we had a lot of gifts donated this year. Our administrator's office was fully. She couldn't walk through it, I'll just say that. Next up, we have our winter sports. Our winter sports teams are still going on. However, they're doing an amazing job this season. Our boys basketball is currently at 19-2. Girls basketball is 10-26. Girls soccer is currently 14-3-1. Boys soccer is 7-11. And our boys and girls wrestling, despite me not having their scores, are doing an amazing season. Next up, we have our holiday dance. This happened on the January 17th. This theme was also Polar Express. However, the decorations were a little bit different. We had games, a hot chocolate station, snacks, and a dance floor where we had students absolutely tearing it up. Personally, it is my favorite thing we have all year. Unfortunately, I was sick, but overall, I heard an amazing experience, and everyone loved being able to bond with the kids. Next up, we have our third annual talent show. This show involves kids from sports, clubs, and anyone who wants to join and show off their skills and hopes to win at the end of the night. They go through different levels of competition with a red carpet walk to portray their talents, to saying what they think would be their best choice for them to win. It is a fun/comical show where students can see their friends participate, parents can see their children participate, and all around have an amazing time being able to be as goofy as they want. And then last week, we had a sale for our Valentine's Day grams. During the week of February 5th through the 9th, we sold our Valentine's Day grams. These grams went on sale for $1 with the card and a lollipop and rose for $5. These grams allow students to write a message to others in honor of Valentine's Day. We even had parents participate in it. The grams were delivered today to students all around campus, and I will say we had a lot of people walking around with roses, so that was amazing to see. Next up, we have our district convention. District was a little bit different this year, but it took place on January 30th. Basha High School was in charge of shirts and the tie-dye kits, which we were able to separate based on schools to make it easier to help out. This year's school district, we had stations with things such as fundraising, assembly games, poster making, and many other things that the kids were able to take back to their councils. Altogether, our council had an amazing time teaching the kids and getting to know them throughout the day. Last but certainly not least, we have our 6 shows. We've had many on campus over the last few months. These shows are meant to be a comical experience where 2 teams face each other to see who can get the crowd to laugh the most. Our recent show is coming up tomorrow night, actually, at 7 p.m. Tickets are $4, and the 2 teams that are facing each other are the Filibustering Raccoons and the Electric Octopi. So feel free to join if you want. Thank you guys all for having me tonight. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Ava. We do have a couple of presentations this evening, and Mr. Narducci. We'll
Yes,
start with the
Madam
And
President,
Then
members
Some
of the
Award.
board. I would like to begin with our And Then Some Award. As you know, this award developed organically this year to recognize staff and students of CUSD who go above and beyond. I would like to invite up to the front of the room Hamilton student Ethan Chalkmock. Ethan, are you here? There, oh, you're at the mic already. Last week, without hesitation, Ethan jumped into a cold lake in Chandler to try and rescue a man who drove his SUV into the water. The driver was unconscious and didn't respond. However, Ethan tried to help the man while his dad called 911. Ethan, can you please share a little bit about what that experience was and what happened? I know you've been in the news, but we're so proud of you. Can you tell us a little of what went through your mind?
Is this thing where, oh, it's working. My dad was calling 911, and I kind of just got in the water trying to help the guy. Wasn't successful. He was unconscious. I just waited for the firefighters to get there. Yeah.
It makes it sound very simple. Ethan, on behalf of all of us in the CUSD, we'd like to present you with this certificate that I'm going to bring down to you, and then some bracelets, not the Taylor Swift bracelet kind of thing, but we give bracelets to every one of our and then some people that have been recognized at our board meetings. You are a Hamilton hero, and we are so proud of you and your heroic actions, of you and your dad. Are your mom and dad here? Well, I think we need to give you an applause too. Stopping and doing something is what it takes, and so thank you all very much for doing that. And I'll meet you right in the middle here, Ethan. It's a manly bracelet. Should be mic'd up on a lapel or something. Sorry.
Congratulations.
This week is Kindness Week in CUSD. To celebrate the act of kindness, each school has activities happening on their campuses. Kindness is more than just being nice. Kindness encompasses thankfulness, thoughtfulness, helpfulness, and being a good friend and member of the community. An ask for all of us this week is to show kindness in big or small ways and watch how our actions can make our schools and communities kinder, safer, and healthier. In the spirit of Kindness Week, we want to take a moment to share high-level happenings as it relates to safety and bullying prevention. As you know, we've been giving updates at each meeting. Board members, you have in your possession a sticker that will be added to the back of student ID badges. The sticker has on it the Speak Up for Safety tip line and QR code. Ahead of handing out the stickers, each one of our principals are recording a video message for their students that will be played at school-wide, and then stickers will be distributed by the teachers for students to have immediate access to. As of this moment tonight, nearly 700 juniors at Perry High School are officially trained in teen mental first aid and mental health first aid. This entails 3 90-minute lessons, and 1 is dedicated to violence, bullying, traumatic events as well. Our counseling and social services team trained approximately 500 juniors at Castile in the fall. Juniors from every comprehensive high school in the district will be trained next year. Teen mental health first aid teaches teens about different types of mental health challenges and crisis situations and how to help their peers. We also want to share later this month, on February 27th, all CUSD social workers will complete a full-day training on social media, reality TV, and influencer culture, and enhanced treatment of clients impacted by toxic content. Also happening is a subcommittee within the Department of Counseling dedicated to finalizing our 9th grade wellness lessons, which will go to all of our 9th grade students, which will also include bullying prevention. Also, as a part of the state law-related education initiative, as the community may know, we have SROs at each one of our schools, but the SROs teach the lessons on these topics. Finally, we encourage you to visit our Counseling and Social Services webpage that is updated daily with new resources, event offerings, and more. A few examples include at Galveston this week, I believe it's tomorrow, they will be doing a Be Kind People project, school assembly at Galveston Elementary. And on February 22nd and 28th, Not My Kid will be presenting on social media and bullying prevention as a part of some of the things we're doing. There's much, much more, and it is at that website for the board members and the public to be able to view and attend if they would like to. These are just a few of the strategies that are key in providing safe environments for students, and I just wanted to share those tonight, and I'll share more at our next meeting as well.
Thank you, Mr. Narducci. We did skip one event, and that is we have a presentation tonight celebrating Black History Month. And Dr. Salou, I guess she's coming. She will do the presentation.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. My name is Alicia, and I'm from Perry High School, and I am Black Excellence. Today, we are going to, welcome to the board members, the superintendent, the cabinet, and the CUSD community. Welcome to the celebration of Black Excellence. Today, we are honoring our councilwoman, Miss Christine Alice, who's been in our CUSD for a while. We're also going to honor our Miss June 19th, 2023. And now we're going to invite Sophia Brentley to the front.
Hello, my name is Sophia Brantley, and I am a graduating senior at Hamilton High School. I am Black Excellence. Good evening to the board and all present. A proclamation of the Chandler Unified School District of the City of Chandler, Arizona, proclaiming the month of February 1st through February 28th as Black History Month. Whereas Black History Month is an essential part of American history and should be studied throughout the year. And since 1926 in the United States of America, February 1st through February 28th has been designated as a month for recognizing and celebrating the history, contributions, influence, and scholarship of African Americans. Black History Month started in 1926 as Negro History Week, and in 1970 became Black History Month. Whereas the vision of Chandler Unified School District is an environment where our diverse population is a strength and a spirit of equity, collaboration, and respect permeates our community. Now, therefore, I, Sophia Brantley, senior at Hamilton High School in the Chandler Unified School District, do hereby proclaim the month of February 1st through February 29th, 2024 as Black History Month, and urge all of Chandler and Arizona residents to celebrate the rich history, culture, and contributions of African Americans throughout the United States. Thank you.
Now welcoming to the front, Mr. Grayus Grimes, to recognize Ms. Renee Moon.
Hi, my name is Jaraz Grimes from Castile High School, and I am Black Excellence. Ms. Moon is a founding special education teacher at Rudy Bologna Elementary School. Ms. Moon is retiring after 25 years at Bologna. We recognize your excellence. We recognize all African American teachers and staff in CUSD and all teachers who recognize to meet the educational needs of Black students. Thank you.
Ms. Moon is a founding special education teacher at Rudy Bologna Elementary School. Ms. Moon is retiring after 25 years at Bologna. We recognize your excellence. We recognize all African American teachers and staff in CUSD and all the teachers who work to meet the educational needs of Black students. Sorry. We're gonna again welcome up Mrs. Willow Arnold to recognize our other seniors.
Hi, my name is Willow Arnold, and I'm from AC Arizona College Prep High School, and I am Black Excellence. Today I'm gonna honor all the African American staff students. First, we have Alex Britton from Arizona College Prep. Her achievements are she holds a 3.8 GPA, has participated in theater all 4 years, plans to attend Howard University, and plans to major in public relations. Now I'm going to talk about Sanaya Hornback from Basha High School. Her achievements are varsity girls basketball player. She plans to attend Penn State or University of Southern California and major in engineering. She has a 3.8 GPA, runs bake sale goods business to raise money for breast cancer research. Next, I'm going to recognize Jarius Grimes from Castile High School. He holds a 3.5 GPA, has earned the Academic Award for Varsity Football Player every year, 2 AIA First Team Awards, 2 AIA Honorable Mention Awards, 3 Men's Track Field Awards. He is also still currently holding the sophomore 100-meter record running a 10.89. Darius has earned a full ride scholarship to Fresno State for football and has always presented himself with great character, representing himself, his family, and his culture. Okay, next I'm going to recognize Kyani Mosley Thompson. She's a senior at Chandler Early College. And she's the SUCO Vice President and CGCC concurrent student. Next, I'm going to recognize Otis Snapper from Chandler High School. He is senior class president and an NHS member and is on the track team as a leader. Now I'm going to recognize Jalen Jones from Hamilton High School. He is planning to attend the United States Military Academy West Point and has a 3.8 GPA and plans to be a future engineer. Next is Precious Riley from Hill Academy. She's a senior and a member of the student council and leader on campus, completing her coursework for graduation and plans to pursue a career in fashion design and nursing. And finally, we have Caden Brandon from Perry High School. He's a 2-year varsity wrestler, a wrestling team captain, NHSSM member, and plans to attend NAU next year.
And these are our Black students. Okay, and and welcoming our CUSD Chandler High School STEP team.
Girls in my crib, 0 Snapchat, 0 Instagram posting. The vibe might start falling like London Bridge. Girl from the ghetto, cat girls from uptown. That's the life of a city boy. Oh yeah, get demo. Oh yeah, get jello. Oh yeah, get oh yeah, get. Mama Sheba, come back on. Make me the start to the paragon. Start to the halagon. Cause you know some my people they calagon. Oguno my power. As they hating on us, make we manyamo. You know I be my father's son. Cause you know say I come from Potako. That's why I'm a jago. Start to the dance I'm a Koni Tolago. I go show you say bounce and Tolago. Cause I be city boy. And I said they for the street they give me joy. Lamborghini boy. Put them on Jesus and I'm not religious. Oh, I know.
And this is Black. We are Black Excellent. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for being here this evening. We truly appreciate it. Next, we'll move on to our citizens' comments. This is the time for the public to comment. Members of the board may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to ARS 38-431.01H, at the conclusion of the open call to the public, individual members of the public body may respond to criticism made by those who have addressed the public body, may ask staff to review a matter, or may ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. However, members of the public body shall not discuss or take legal action on matters raised during an open call to the public unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. I do see that we have several comments tonight about teen violence. We want to thank you for being here. We understand the Preston Lord tragedy and other senseless acts of violence have really rocked our communities, and we are here to listen. Tonight we have 14 individuals who would like to speak, and so we will be having a time limit of 2 minutes per person. Dr. Nance, will you be doing our timing? Okay, thank you. You can see up on the monitors that there will be a timer there, and you will get a notification when you have 30 seconds left. Our first individual tonight is Charlotte Lawrence to speak on bullying.
My name is Charlotte Lawrence. I live here in Chandler. I'm a resident, and I have 3 children that I pulled from this district about a year and a half ago. The reason why I pulled them out, it was one of the meetings here, actually. I came to discuss a book that my elementary school son had brought home from his school library. I voiced my concerns, and that was it. Literally the next day, a former board member starts posting pictures of me, my children, and starts calling me a transphobic, homophobic, racist, and the list goes on. Obviously, it's a former board member. I know there's a couple new members here, but this is still something that we need to be aware of, and because our children are watching us, and they are watching you guys. I also wanted to address that when parents are coming here to voice their concerns to you guys, in return, we are being bullied as the parents, and that's not okay. Parents are being bullied by the very people who are in charge of our children's education, the very people who work for us. We have a district that claims to be about anti-bullying and a history, but has a history of members bullying people themselves. I recall a few years ago, there was a Chandler resident who was arrested right outside wanting to speak at a board member meeting during COVID. There was also another father who spoke at a meeting
30 seconds.
and was later fired from his job after being told by a member, his employment, that he was a racist. There's a couple things that we need to do as parents is we really need to pay attention to our local candidates in our local elections. I cannot stress that enough because they are the most important. And Mr. Narducci, I have got to say that you need to resign. I do not understand how a parent—
Time has expired. Time has expired.
Our next is Sierra Powers.
Hello, I'm Sierra Powers, and I am the president-elect for my HOSA chapter at Basha High School. You may not be familiar with the concept of HOSA, so let me state it for you quickly. HOSA is an organization focused on helping future health professionals as they attempt to gain hands-on experience in the workforce. I am here today because I am advocating for my HOSA chapter. For me, HOSA is an opportunity to find things to do in a field I am passionate about. The HOSA chapters at Basha are some of the best, and to be in HOSA, you must be in biotech or MedPro class, and currently we have over 100 members. My main motivator to be here is because I love HOSA so much, and I'm just so excited to talk about it. HOSA gave me a way to funnel my passion for science into something concrete, and I think a lot of people would benefit from joining it. I've learned valuable skills like how to deal with mental health and how to be a leader. One of the amazing things that HOSA does is allow people to compete in competitive events. Some of these competitive events include EMT, veterinary sciences, prepared speaking, and forensics. This year, I'm competing in research poster in a project about focusing on the depolymerization of plastic and its sustainability in a long-term and cost-effective use. And I just qualified for regionals to advance to state. Our chapters do an incredible job of allowing everyone to try in competition and encourage participation on all levels, from freshman to senior, and it is a program I'm ecstatic to be able to share with all of you. I've learned how to be a leader, a listener, and learn core values that I think are crucial for everyone. It would mean a lot to all of the HOSA chapters at Basha, and I think in the entire district, if this leads you to support us by advocating and recognizing the work we do. Our sponsors are Miss Thornton and Miss Rutherford at Basha High School, and they are more than happy to answer any questions that we have, and we look forward from being able to hear from you. Thank you.
Our next is Sahana Atalure. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Sahana, and along with Sierra, I serve as the Vice President of the HOSA Medical Professions Chapter at Basha High School. HOSA, as Sierra said, is a student organization dedicated to empowering future health professionals to become leaders in the global health community. Our Basha High School HOSA chapter has competed in competitions up to the international level and has dedicated ourselves to service, such as when we held a community heart screening where we screened over 130 people and earned the reward of an AED being donated to our school. HOSA Service Project Partner is a National Marrow Donor Program, or NMDP, which facilitates the critical process of matching patients in need of life-saving blood stem cell transplants with compatible donors. Last year, our Basha HOSA Club organized various initiatives, including a walkathon, in order to raise money for the NMDP and fund expensive bone marrow transplants. With the support of our community, we were able to raise $5,000, and this year we aspire to further our impact on NMDP's mission and double this fundraising amount. We are organizing an NMDP swabbing event both at the booth at the Chandler Innovation Fair on February 24th, where people can swab their cheeks, be added to the registry, and make life-saving work possible. Additionally, we are organizing another walkathon this year on March 1st from 6 to 9 p.m. at Basha High School with various activities, booths, food trucks, and fundraising opportunities. This event offers a wonderful experience for a community to contribute to a worthy cause. Any assistance through the forms of attending the walkathon and the Chandler Innovation Fair swabbing booth, spreading the word about these events to the communities, and making donations toward our effort to support making a meaningful difference is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Anna Salages. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Esteemed board members, my name is Anna Salages. I am an American Sign Language instructor at Castile High School and a parent of a freshman and senior at Basha High. I started my career with CUSD as a noon aide at Carlson Elementary School under the direction of the gentleman and scholar, Leo Schlueter, who encouraged and inspired me to become an educator by the example he led. Speaking of community, I would like to teach you how to sign community in ASL. ASL has a way of showing the meaning of the word visually. As I tell my students, learning ASL is not a spectator sport. In order to learn it, you need to do it. So hands up. Community. Community. The interesting thing about this sign is that many signs are one-handed. Community requires both hands. One cannot have a community without the involvement of others. Community. The hands meet facing one another, turning towards, not away. This is what a community needs from its leaders. The hands meet one another at the tips of the fingers, showing that it is only when we are treated with the highest respect will a community be united. The hand twist back and forth shows how one in a positive community accommodates and supports one another. We in a sea of orange for Preston Lord are here to offer ways to improve our school community. One thing Preston's aunt mentioned at the Gilbert City Hall was that when she thinks of Preston, she thinks of his hands and how we have a choice every day to use our hands for good or bad.
30 seconds.
As a mom and teacher, I urge you to implement the away for the day policy where students turn their phones off during school hours. It is imperative that we as students follow the science and research that plainly shows that social media has created a public health crisis among our children and our community. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Eli Guinness, or Guinness. Which one is it? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Eli Guinness, Chandler resident 85248, voter, by the way. So I'm here tonight to make sure that everybody up here does not get a free pass. As everything's been in the news with Preston and everything else that's going on, this has been brought to your attention many, many times, and now you want to hand out cards for bullying and talk about bullying. When this has been brought to you guys many, many times and you overlook it, as long as it's Perry High School, we just ignore it. If it's Chandler High School or others, we're going to attack it. My son, Bogle Junior High, 8th grade, moved to Arizona, approached by many groups of one person, gonna jump him, says it to everybody, texting, the whole 9 yards. He approaches them in the quad, stands up for himself, never throws a punch, just says, hey, if you're gonna hit me from behind, hit me in front of my face. I'm not gonna let you tack me from back. Here I am, if you wanna hit me, hit me. Suspended, said we're in a zero tolerance. Nothing, I went to the district, I came here, I fought it. I said, what do you want my son to do? Basically come to the office, you want him to run? Like he's standing up for himself, he has every right to stand up for himself. He didn't throw a punch, he just didn't get attacked from behind. On to Chandler High School, followed into the bathroom by the same group of people. Again, in trouble, in the office, suspension. Never threw a punch, but because he protected himself and he stood his ground and didn't back down, and I said, you guys are promoting bullying. Because you happen to have an individual like my son, who's a football kid, who has no problem standing up for himself, you want to attack him. But at the end of the day, you're promoting bullying. And I said it, we said it, saw it at Perry High School with the football game, sat back from the outside, observed the coaches, observed the staff, observed the parents of Perry High School shouting slanders and slurs and racist comments to Chandler High School, and you guys did nothing. I sat in this boardroom and I watched and I listened to people saying, hey, you guys say it's not race, it's not religious, it's not race, it's not religious, and people stand up and say, hey, I'm Mormon too, I just happen to go to Chandler High School. Hey, I'm Mormon too, I happen to go to Chandler High School.
Thank you. Our next is Angela Rogers.
Ladies and gentlemen of the CUSD Board, today we stand at a crucial crossroad where the safety and well-being of our children hinge on the actions we choose to take. We are presented with an opportunity to make a significant impact through concerted efforts and targeted strategies. Firstly, we must address the critical issue of reporting mechanisms for kids. Despite having invested $310,000 in an anonymous reporting tool, its potential remains untapped due to inadequate promotion. We must not only encourage its use, but also ensure that every student knows how and where they can report, safe in the knowledge that their voices will be heard and action taken. Secondly, we have to tackle the issue of substance abuse head-on by amplifying prevention, education, resources. Knowledge is power, and by empowering our students with the right information, we can steer them towards making better choices. Lastly, I urge the board to commit to a 2-year deep dive into our assault and suspension data. It is not enough to react to incidents as they occur. We must understand the patterns and causes, for there is a connection between on and off campus behavior that we cannot afford to ignore anymore. Let us be the change that turns the tide and be the beacon that guides our children towards a brighter and safer future. Together, we can transform challenges into stepping stones for progress. Our children deserve no less. Frank, when my high schooler was in elementary school, my husband and I sat in your office and discussed the various entities that circled around a child's life and the struggles we had as parents trying to get everyone in the same room to address a problem. Under your watch, atrocious and inexcusable acts have taken place with such lack of actions.
Time has expired.
I'm sorry. We all have 2 minutes. We all deserve a right to speak. Every other one. Our next speaker is Christine Brennans. Christine Brennans.
Hi. Can you hear me? Okay. Over the past 6 months, the scale of our teen disillusionment and violence problem has become clearer. Teens from affluent homes are preying on bullying and hurting other teens, knowing that little will be done for them. We have seen change begin at the political, judicial, and police level. However, it is now becoming clearer that our schools are failing to help these teens before they become the product of their home life. Around 2019, CUSD removed its diversion programs, moving to a simple suspension system. Diversion programs give schools and students the opportunity to interrupt the destructive path and help them grow into upstanding individuals. While it doesn't always work, simple solutions like suspension aimed at complex problems rarely help. It just pushes the problem on someone else, which is often other teens. We have to try and help these teens and not just push them away for someone else to deal with. Please implement these diversion programs. Fund the counseling like you keep saying you're doing. Help us build a solution that our cities can be better places to live for all of us. Thank you.
Our next is, excuse me, our next is Maren Glenn.
Hi, my name is Maren Glenn, and I'm junior high president at Castile High School. I appreciate the opportunity to represent and be a voice for the teens of our district and about teen violence. The main reason that teen violence is such a big issue is that it's not spoken about enough at school. People at school don't know how serious teen violence is. Students don't know how often it happens and how brutal it is. So there's a lack of awareness, and when they do learn somewhat about it, they aren't aware of how serious it is. The students need to understand, so that means students seeing videos of teen violence and talking about it. Before I saw videos, I didn't understand the situation, and I didn't know how serious teen violence was. When I saw some videos, I really started caring, and I even got angry at everyone letting it happen. But I remembered that I didn't really care before I knew the situation, so I don't have a right to be angry. If people don't know what is happening, they won't care. I'm not a psychologist, but I do know somewhat on how teenagers act. Teenagers choose someone to follow, and they do what they do, they speak how they speak, and they care about what they care about. If they can see the videos and get at least a few people to care about teen violence, I think we can get more and more students to care. I think if we show students the situation, even the people a part of the violence and the people taking the videos can see it in a different perspective. I think that's the best and only way to spread awareness and support a stop to the violence. The ones that know about the problem want the gangs off our streets. We want accountability. There are so many victims that are too scared to speak because there are still so many people that can hurt them again. The victims need support, but they are stuck in fear. We need to put a stop to the threat and keep our community safer. The victims can be anyone, your niece, your nephew, your son, your daughter, their friends, their classmates. We don't need any more victims like Preston. We need justice. We need awareness in our classrooms and assemblies. Thank you for letting me share from a teenage perspective.
Tricia Young.
Hi, if you can hear me. I have been a Riggs parent, or a parent of a child at Riggs Elementary for 10 years, and I would like to share with you my recent perspective over what's happened over the last few months. The topic I'd like to address with you is communication. As it relates, as you know, it comes in many forms. Mr. Narducci, you had the information and the means to intervene with the bullying at Perry High School. As they say, action speaks louder than words. And despite an overwhelming amount of evidence presented by numerous victims in the community, your response was to throw your unwavering support behind the Lander family, creating a legitimate public safety risk while turning your back on the teachers, students, and families you claim to represent. Your negligence has disproportionately landed on a few, most notably Preston Lord and his family, Mr. Keener, but also the teachers, the families, and the students at Riggs Elementary. This district's silence on Mrs. Lander's involvement has been consistent and deafening. As parents, we were told it was not our business, and Mrs. Lander was unilaterally supported by this board with no other avenue to express our concerns. Today, I received a notification from the school advising us not to rely on social media for news related to teen violence or
30
school safety.
seconds.
While late, at least there is an acknowledgement that something was wrong and there was a problem at our school. The teachers and the families in this community deserve leadership who will represent the needs of all families, not just one. I'm eager to hear how this board will take accountability for your mistakes and commit to keeping families informed as we try to work together towards a solution against teen violence. Thank you.
Bridget Vega.
Good evening. I stand here to be a voice for the children. Can we put teen violence on the agenda? This conversation is deeper than 2 minutes. Change begins with awareness. When does it stop? Justice starts with us. When each and every single one of you have the courage to stop looking away and turning a blind eye. You don't get to look the other way on this issue. Too many innocent souls have been assaulted and a child was brutally murdered. Preston Lord could have been any one of your children. What if it was your child? Together, we must rise for the children. It starts with one person. It starts with you. When you say, am I a part of the problem? You face that mirror and start holding people accountable and not allowing individuals within your district to continue to cover it up and gaslight the victims and their families. Awareness and prevention are key to stop allowing the abusers to continue to perpetuate intentional infliction of emotional distress on the youth in the community due to senseless acts of violence. I'm concerned as suicide rates have skyrocketed. Sextortion, drug trafficking, drug use, including alcohol, vapes, with weed and fentanyl on elementary and high school campuses. Remember, the children are watching. Your silence is deafening. The children go to school feeling unseen, unheard, and unsafe, and cannot even be children. While they wonder as life goes on, where's the justice? Who's protecting us? As they live in survival mode using coping mechanisms, the children continue to go on in the communities every day and cross paths with teens who continually get away with murder and assaults. It's more than a hashtag. It's a child's life. We don't have a future if we don't protect the children. We have a duty to protect the innocent. If not, that blood is on our hands. See something, say something, do something. If we can take a moment of silence and pray for protection over the youth, the families, the innocent souls lost to senseless acts of violence.
Katie McPherson.
Good evening, Madam President, Superintendent Narducci, and members of the board. My name is Katie McPherson. I'm pretty sure you know me. I have 4 teenagers in CUSD. 6 current, former, and 2023 graduates of Perry High School have been arrested for violent acts against other students off campus spanning from 2022 to 2023. Perry is CUSD Goon Ground Zero. In the 2020-2021 school year, these students had on-campus behavior investigated by the football coaches, Ms. Jennifer Burks, and Officer Jesse Ellen. Although the findings resulted in a restraining order and proved that there was a nexus of bullying, harassment, and intimidation and other violence acts existed, the assailants remained students at Perry. These families have left Chandler Unified because of these children and your staff's inaction. On April 28th, 2023, I personally emailed your leadership team that this group was arrested, and one member stated he wanted to hurt people and kill police officers. Not one of you responded to my email. A common theme that the perpetrators of this violence have had are many student witnesses filming and recording. At the town hall, Dr. Aaron Krasnow so eloquently stated, "To witness is a verb. There's power in witness. This violence could only persist because the conditions and the environment allowed the violence to persist and was reinforced by bystanders." This pattern of silence and inaction echoed the silence that I and other Castile parents brought forward last year when 7 female students were abused by a teacher. There are 2 assistant superintendents in this room under investigation by the Arizona State Board of Education for seeing something and saying nothing. If we expect students to see something and say something, then you must do something. Our expectation of our A+ school.
Brett Wingate.
That was the most important message. What do you want to hear? All you care about. What you want to hear. Close your eyes, turn your head, keep making faces. You're all disgusting. You treat people like dirt. And you don't care.
Members of the board,
Mr. Wingate, we would like to reset the timer for you, please.
members of the board, I'm here to formalize what I had talked to you about a few months ago. This April, on April 6th, there will be a parent school choice fair in Chandler Community Center from 2 p.m. till 4:30. And you are one of my first invites. I would like to have, and I do have a table reserved for you. And at this event, it is an opportunity for parents to come and discuss with different schools, including public, charter, and private school representatives, about their options. On top of that, we will have this year presentations from the homeschooling organizations, ESA officials, school selection organizations, and even microschools. Because as we have come to learn, when parents know that they really have a choice and they are empowered to make that decision, they become a partner. And it strengthens the bond for the school, the child, and for the parent to know the outcome. So this is an improvement for your children if you encourage them to make a choice, a positive choice about where you want your child's education to be had. We have all sorts of opportunities, and there will be a number of schools that people can discuss things with. I just wanted to make sure that you remembered it, and I brought you a flyer, and look forward to seeing you there.
Cindy Homan.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if I was going to speak tonight, but I put some thoughts together. For many years, I lived in the Seville community. Riggs was my neighborhood school. It wasn't built yet when we first moved to Seville, so my 3 boys attended Freedom Elementary just down the road, where they learned all about the 6 pillars of character with the Character Counts program. That was a bedrock of their Chandler Unified School culture. Those 6 pillars were trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. My 2 older boys went on to attend and graduate from Perry High School. I myself had the honor to work for the Chandler Unified School District for several years at Santan Junior High. I am here tonight to ask, what has happened to Chandler Unified School District? As a parent, I knew that when I sent my kids to school and entrusted them to you for 7 to 8 hours of their day, they were in good hands. Character was not just something that was taught to the students, it was lived out by their teachers and administrators. Their leaders were not afraid to do what was right and could be counted on to partner with me as a parent to instill and uphold the same values that our community as a whole strived for. Unfortunately, somewhere along the way, from Riggs Elementary to Perry High School, and all of the way up to the leaders in the district itself, this school district has lost its way. When students cannot trust their school leaders to protect them from violence, when principals are allowed to stay in their leadership role, when it had become clear months ago that they were protecting and enabling in their own home a violent bully who was a threat to his classmates as well as our community at large, When its administrators, SROs, and district leaders cannot be trusted to be courageous enough to support students and families like Rick Keener and his son, there is a huge problem. I ask tonight that you collectively and individually search deeply as to how, under your watch, this district's reputation has become so tarnished, how you have lost the trust of your students, parents, and community residents. If you are not going to have the character needed to make the drastic changes your school district, our young
Time has
people,
expired.
and this community desperately need,
I want to thank everyone for coming and speaking to us this evening. I did want to let everyone know that the school district, for people who are in the press here or families, that we have put out a statement this evening that we hope that all of you can. It was released today concerning a lot of the things that have been going on in the community. So with that, Mr. Narducci, did you have anything to say? Okay. Our next is our consent agenda. Our consent agenda is this evening. And Mr. Narducci, can you present the consent agenda?
Madam President, members of the board, we recommend approval of the consent agenda as written and published.
Thank you. Could I please get a motion?
Madam President, I move that we approve consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Mr. Worth?
Aye.
The motion carries. I do want to let everyone know, too, that the board is not allowed to engage since this is not on our agenda, and we cannot comment to individuals who are asking us to comment. Just as just as I had said when I read some of the rules and regulations that we have with Arizona state statutes concerning open meeting laws, that we cannot discuss these type things with people who bring up subjects in the comments, in the citizens' comments. Excuse me. Our next is our action items, and Mrs. Berry is, I'm sorry. I believe that we have Mr. Angiano that is going to speak to us about the, or are you going to go ahead and
I'll
start
introduce
first?
them if that's okay, Madam President.
Thank you.
All right, Madam President, members of the board. We just conducted our budget committee, budget citizens committee, and tonight we have John Anguiano here tonight with us. He has been serving for years with us. He's an awesome citizen, but he's also a CUSD dad, and he's a businessman. He's also just a great leader in our community. So we're really thankful he's part of the budget committee. He is going to talk about the recommendation from the committee. He's a co-chair with Michelle Mowry. She's not able to be here because she had a procedure done today, so I apologize she's not here, but she will also help co-chair the budget committee. But I'm going to turn it over to John, and then I'll wrap up when John's finished.
Thank you, Ms. Berry. Good evening, Madam President and members of the board, along with Superintendent Narducci and the rest of his cabinet. My name is John Anguiano. I happen to co-chair the 2024 Citizens Advisory Budget Committee, and this is our yearly report to you. This is our report to you. The 2024 Chandler Unified School District Citizen Advisory Budget Committee, also known as the committee, was formed to obtain community input into the 2024-25 expenditure budget, as well as a proposed new program budget requests, also known as NP 5000, submittals from individual schools, directors, and superintendents. The committee held 2 meetings at the district office commencing January 31st, 2024, and concluding February 7th, 2024. Each meeting's date and attendance count is listed at the end of the report. Teachers and administrative staff were encouraged to participate in discussions and ask questions and voted individually on the final recommendations as a committee recognized they are also stakeholders in the success of the district. Thanks to the excellent management by the administrative and superintendent staff, the district is strong. The district is in strong financial health. Its administrative costs are among the lowest in the state. The district is second largest in the state, only second to Mesa, and Tucson is third. Using an outside demographer's report, the district is expected to decrease in enrollment over the next few years. The district is also built out. However, it has been experiencing a decline in birth rates within our boundaries, a housing price increase, and a vast number of competitive schools in and around our boundaries. Average daily memberships, ADM, projections for the 24-25 preschool through 12th grade is at 40,674 students. These students attend 44 schools, 31 of which are elementary, 6 are junior high or middle school programs, 6 are high school, and 1 online school throughout our district. The district enrollment growth and smart financial planning over the past 3 decades has positioned the district in a strong financial state. The district reserve funds will be used to help offset the decrease in enrollment over time. The goal is to maintain a healthy reserve balance to help with new programs, one-time incentives, and to offset the budget capacity while the district's ADM declines. The first 2 committee meetings focus on CUSD general budget information, as well as background provided on school funding in Arizona in general and in Chandler in particular. Topics of discussion included levy expenditures, items specifically funded by M&O, and the legislative process and history, the impact that impacted last year's budget, and the new proposed budget released by the governor in January of 2024. Ms. Berry, CFO, reviewed the preliminary new program, the NP requests, which were presented and discussed. She also reviewed and explained the M&O check register. The committee was asked after the first meeting to review all of the NP 5000 requests and to bring back questions and feedback to the second meeting. During the second budget meeting, through a thorough review of the 2024-25 NP 5000s was discussed and conducted. Committee members asked questions from their review of the new NP 5000s, and the committee then voted to approve a recommendation to the governing board. Information presented included a comprehensive discussion from Ms. Berry, who provided insight into multiple items in question. On February 8th, after all questions had been answered, the committee voted unanimously to approve the recommended NP 5000s. On February 12th, the report was finalized with details outlined in summary findings and recommendation format. Our findings, and I promise I'm almost done. Based on the information provided, the committee determined the funding requests listed and detailed in the NP 5000 summary as presented during the meeting of February 7th are valid and fully supported of the requests that are marked yes. Items listed as yes if funds are available, under consideration, or under consideration will be studied in the future by district administration and the committee. If approved, will be placed in the 2024-25 proposed expenditure budget brought to the board in June. An attachment of the NP 5000 is provided for your review. A request for approval was made, and the consensus approved the 24-25 NP 5000 requests. The committee fully supports the Super Q Committee's salary and benefits recommendation. There are also a few salary items that were approved outside of the Super Q recommendation, but are listed in the NP 5000 list. The committee reviewed each request outlined in the NP 5000 document. Requests were broken down between funding sources: approval, yes, to be determined; yes, if funds are approved; non-approval, no, or under consideration. There are approximately $24 million in requests, of which $8.9 million fall under the M&O capital, and $6.1 million of other funds were approved, for a total of approximately $15 million. Some of the requests will be ongoing expenditures, and some will be one-time expenditures. Recommendation, the committee recommends inclusion of the listed approved yes NP 5000 requests for the 2024-25 budget. Some of the requests will be ongoing expenditures, and some of them will be a one-time expenditure. Renovation requests will be approved through the Executive Director of Support Services. The CFO and the Superintendent will be brought back to the board through either action items, the proposed budget, monthly board updates, or the annual capital meeting. The committee recommends a salary and benefits recommendation made by the Super Q Committee, which will be presented along with the Budget Committee's recommendation. These recommendations are based off the governor's budget plan and will be in effect once it is approved by the legislature. And that's all I have for you.
Thank you, John. So what you are seeing tonight is the budget recommendations that were made by the Budget Citizens Committee. Now, the budget isn't actually proposed to you until June and then adopted in July. So we'll be bringing back the budget to you in June. However, why this is so important is because the majority of the budget is actually salary and benefits. As you know, we're a service entity, so the majority of our maintenance and operations budget, 85% of it, is salaries and benefits. We're about to issue contracts for next fiscal year, and so it's important that our budget committee approves the budget so that it coincides with our Super Q, which is our meet and confer committee that approves salaries and benefits for classified, certified, and administration. So as tonight, we're requesting the approval of the Budget Committee's recommendation of the 24-25 MP 5000 requests.
Thank you, Mrs. Berry. Let's go ahead and get a motion on the table, and then we
I
can...
did have a question, just for my information.
Well, let's make the motion first, and that'll be part of the discussion. So could I please get a motion?
Madam President, I would like to make a motion to accept the Budget Committee's recommendation for the 2024 CUSD Citizens Advisory Budget Committee.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Please, I'm sorry.
I think we needed a
Sorry,
discussion.
no, yep, I'm wrong. Mr. Rose has a question. Let's start there.
Yeah, I served on this committee before. How many people did you have participating this time? Approximately. Good.
Board Member Roars, on the January 31st meeting, we had 27 attendees. On the February 8th meeting, we had 22 attendees.
Okay. How many of those people were CUSD staff members?
I have no idea of the exact number, just because I don't know all the staff, but I do know that there were quite a few parents and other businessmen that are involved in this committee, as you or have been in the past.
Yeah, because my experience is as we got to the end of this, there was like 2 of us, and the rest of them were staff members. But that would be an interesting point of information. Thank you.
We can get you that, Mr. Roars. We can get you that information, too.
Are there any other comments, questions, or discussion from the board? All right. Then if there's no more discussion, all those in favor of the motion to approve the Budget Committee recommendations for the 24-25 budget, please say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next on our agenda, we have the employee compensation package for the 2024-2025 school year. Mrs. Berry.
Ms. Berry, before you go there real quick, Mr. Anguiano, I just want to thank you for your service and the Budget Committee service. I know it's a voluntary piece there, and I just want to thank you for your leadership on that group, along with Michelle Mowry, who couldn't be here. Thank you.
Madam President, I'll be presenting this one.
Thank you.
So we request approval of the employee compensation package, which was recommended by our Super Q committee and the Budget Committee for 24-25 school year. Super Q had representation from all 3 employee groups. That's our administrative, certified, and support groups. We recommend approval of the attached proposed compensation for the 24-25 school year.
Thank you, Mrs. Nance. I just lost my meeting information, but we are good. Could I please get a motion?
I move that we approve the salary increases noted in the agenda item.
Or just the salary increases or the whole compensation package?
Okay, the whole compensation package.
Thank you. Is there a second? All right. Are there any questions for Mrs. Berry or Mr. Roars?
I just think for the public record and people listening out there, can we tell them what the salary increase was?
Absolutely, and I can refer to Dr. Nance too, but there is a 2% increase for our staff, and then there's also a percentage or a dollar amount that we're going to contribute towards benefits. We do not have the new benefits allocation out. We won't know that until March, but we are going to contribute $1.5 million towards our benefits package. And then also we have a stipend for our special education teachers at approximately $2,000 per special education teacher who works directly with students. Is there anything else, Mrs. Nance or Dr. Nance?
We have two more things in the package as well. In addition, our strategic plan, if the district meets the metrics, we have the $600 prorated stipend for employees if metrics set by the board are achieved. And then while our employees are getting that 2% raise for next year in the compensation package, we have also requested to move our entry levels by 0.5% at the entry level.
So what is the entry-level salary will become?
So we have multiple ranges in all of our first support certified and secondary, but each range of different positions, the entry one will go up by 0.5%. So
Yeah, I think people are most interested in what the teacher's salary would be.
it'll get us up pretty close to 55,000, if not a little above.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions, comments? Mr. Worth, do you have a question? Okay. All right. If no additional questions or comments, we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor of the employee compensation package for 24-25 school year, please say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next, we'll go on to our information items. We have our student activity, auxiliary operations, and tax credit reports. Mrs. Berry?
Madam President, members of the board, the student activities, auxiliary operations, and tax credit reports for the months ending July of 2023 through January of 2024 are provided for your review.
Thank you. Are there any questions on those reports? If not, we'll move on to our board agenda roadmap. Our next meeting is February 28th. I did want to remind everyone, though, that next week we all got our little reminders on our table that we have a night of recognition at the Chandler Center for the Arts on Wednesday, February 21st, and it begins at 6:30 p.m. We also will be reviewing policies later this week. And I think that's it. Let me just check through here if there's anything else. Nope. All right. So we will now go on to board member current events. Why don't we start with Kurt at the end?
Okay. Thank you. So on Thursday, January 18th, Chandler Chamber of Commerce had their economic update. And one thing that was stressed was the importance of integrating the schools into the economic development of the community, particularly with new technology jobs that will coming down the road. On Tuesday, January 23rd, we had CWP training, which was for the teachers. I attended one session. There was a presentation by our new workforce development manager, Patrick Brown, I thought was very, very good. And I think that goes right to the previous item I spoke about. But I was also able to listen to some of the reading and math intervention presentations, which, I think are extremely important, and I appreciate the district really putting an effort into this. Last thing is we have our Build for Tomorrow Expo. That's Thursday, March 7th from 5 o'clock to 7 p.m. at Chandler High School, and that will be for career development. Monday, January 29th, we had the East Valley Board Consortium. That's where we have board members and superintendents from all over the East Valley come to meet. And again, actually this is out of Mesa Public Schools, but they're working very hard on the importance of career development. So, they're the largest school district in the state. We're the second largest. So we're both doing this. They're pushing hard as well, which I thought was very encouraging. One thing about school construction, because I know we're going to be talking about bonds and that, and some people feel we should rely on the state for that. One thing they did present is that the state's looking at a $400 million hole in their budget. I took that as it's quite unlikely they're going to be funding a lot of school construction projects. So we're going to have to deal with that as it comes along. On a brighter note, Tuesday, January 30th, Perry at Basha basketball. This is the second time they met. Perry won the first game. Basha prevailed this time in overtime. It was a very, very exciting game. I suspect they will meet again. Basketball playoffs start tonight. So as soon as I get home, I'm going to be checking scores. But the quality of play was just extraordinary. So you really should take a chance to go see some of these games. Wednesday, January 31st, Arizona State Superintendent Tom Horn introduced new materials available for teachers from PragerU as supplementals. Some people feel that they're controversial. I'll let you look at them and decide for yourself, but they're supplementary materials. The intent is to have some balance in the classrooms that teachers can use if they choose to, instead of some of the biased materials that some of the parents complain about. Saturday, February 3rd, we had our Basha Day of Code at Basha Middle School. Jenna Harkoff runs that program, but the lady that runs the lab is Jody Tamboli. The place was packed with kids learning how to code. So I think that's an extraordinarily successful program. I think it's extraordinarily useful, and I would encourage as much effort to put in that direction as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roars. Mr. Olive?
Only thing I've got is earlier tonight we had kind of a misconception of what we're able to do, and Barb read through our standard thing that you have to read through before citizens' comments. Every single time we have citizens' comments, we're bound by the same rules as towns and cities. And during citizens' comments, we cannot have a back and forth communication with the people that are commenting. We have to listen to what they say, and but unfortunately we can't have a back and forth conversation with folks. A lot of people don't understand that, and reading that boring kind of legal stuff, you don't really pay attention sometimes, but that's what that means. We can't have back and forth conversations, or we get in trouble. That was my thing.
Thank you, Mr. Olive. Mrs. Serrano.
Thank you. I just want to reiterate that we know we are stronger when we work together. I'd like to acknowledge and thank members of our community who take the time, it's voluntary time, to reach out to us and communicate on urgent and important matters, as well as news and events. So I thank you for your emails when I receive them. Upcoming, I'd like to share that our CUSD Black Student Union clubs, some of which we got to see tonight, are hosting a celebration in recognition of Black History Month on Saturday, February 24th, starting at 12:30, and that's at Chandler High School. So I'm very excited to see what our remarkable students have planned for us, and of course encourage support and attendance. Now, this same day, February 24th, you can stay in the downtown neighborhood because the 13th annual Chandler Innovation Fair in partnership with the City of Chandler is also taking place, and that runs that same Saturday, February 24th, from 10 to 2. And I don't want to ignore today's special day with Valentine's Day, recognizing love and friendship that do reflect kindness and empathy. I'd like to share some special words on love by the brilliant author, playwright, essayist, and civil rights activist, a favorite of mine, James Baldwin. He shares, "The longer I live, the more deeply I learn that love, whether we call it friendship or family or romance, is the work of mirroring and magnifying each other's light, gentle work, steadfast work, life-saving work in those moments when life and shame and sorrow occlude our own light from our view. But there is still a clear-eyed, loving person to beam it back. In our best moments, we are that person for each other." Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Serrano. Mr. Worth? No comments, okay. I've been out visiting some of the schools over the last few weeks, and it's really amazing to see the kinds of things that our students are learning in the classroom, and the enthusiasm that I see, their eyes lighting up as they're doing things that are absolutely amazing. When you see kindergartners that are programming these little robots, while they're all sitting on the floor and doing math in order to do that with other manipulatives, you really see how engaged the students are and how much they are enjoying learning. I also, with other board members, went to the East Valley Consortium meeting where they did talk heavily about the state of Arizona's budget for education and the budget itself. And it's concerning because there is that big shortfall that Mr. Roars talked about. I also went and met with some of the A+. They had one of the A+ schools, one of our elementary schools was being reviewed for their an A+ award, and they asked individuals to come and meet with the reviewers that were out there. And I am also been involved with the Chandler High International Baccalaureate 5-year review, and Mr. Narducci and I were both at one of the meetings today, and it's amazing about that particular program. The IB program has such a great reputation across the state at Chandler High, and it's a rigorous kind of a worldview type program to help have our students be world citizens and know just the rigor and everything else that's with the program. It really matches up with our portrait of a learner. So it's been a lot of fun actually listening to some of the questions and things that the reviewers have. So anyway, with that, I thank you for coming this evening, and I hope you have a good rest of your evening, and our next meeting will be in 2 weeks. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.